It is around 3:15 p.m. Sunday, January 1st, 2016. I'm in front of the Unitarian Church of Montreal, and the church decided that it would have its first Sunday service at 4 o'clock today rather than the usual time of 10:30. So I'm just getting set up to initiate my 2017 protest against Unitarian Universalist injustices, abuses, and hypocrisy. Whoops, there go my picket signs, getting blown over a little bit by the breeze, so I'll just put them back up. A couple of people came out of the church, went on their way. Just get these picket signs rearranged. Had some wind problems earlier, so we'll see how things work out, but anyhow, we got some people over there. The wind is definitely not cooperating with the picket signs today, so if it continues, I'll have to put away the freestanding picket signs. But for now, we got one saying Unitarian Universalist misuse blasphemy law to cover up and deny pedophilia and rape. Entirely truthful statement based on the fact that the Unitarian Universalist Association in Boston hired Stikeman Elliott barristers and solicitors litigation lawyer, excuse me, Maître Marc-André Coulombe, to accuse me of the criminal act of blasphemous libel in what could be described as Bill Cosby-style legal bullying, intended to hide from public view the fact that certain Unitarian Universalist ministers are guilty of engaging in such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape. To borrow a couple of choice phrases from Maître Marc-André Coulombe's arrogant demand letters. And I have quite successfully challenged that false accusation, basically proven beyond any reasonable doubt that it's completely and utterly false, to say nothing of batshit crazy. But neither the Unitarian Universalist Association nor Stikeman Elliott as a law firm have formally withdrawn that false accusation. So until they do, I'm considering myself to still be accused of blasphemous libel by Unitarian Universalists. If Unitarian Universalists want this to become a thing of the past, as it were, well, they better withdraw the accusation and very publicly apologize for bringing it against me. And when I say they should apologize, I don't mean just to me. Certainly, falsely accusing me of the crime of blasphemous libel is wrongful and at least in theory harmful. But I'm not the only one who is affected by that false accusation. In fact, the people perhaps most affected by that false accusation, besides the victims of pedophilia and rape, whose existence is being denied by the Unitarian Universalist Association, are Unitarian Universalists themselves. The Unitarian Universalist Association falsely accusing me or anyone else of blasphemous libel or any other form of blasphemy is a total betrayal of Unitarian Universalism 7 principles, and also the long-standing history of Unitarians and Universalists of opposing blasphemy laws. For centuries, Unitarians and Universalists opposed blasphemy laws because they were often on the receiving end of being accused of blasphemy by the Christian church, primarily because of their heretical views from a Christian standpoint. Unitarians denying the doctrine of the Trinity, and Universalists proclaiming universal salvation. Both of these theological positions contradicted, let's say, Orthodox Christianity. And I don't mean Eastern Orthodox, I just mean, you know, standard accepted Trinitarian Christianity. And so as a result, for centuries, Unitarians and Universalists were persecuted by Trinitarian Christians. This is, you know, one of the main reasons why they opposed blasphemy laws. Got a New York license plate here. So anyhow, yeah. So this could be some Unitarians showing up from New York. Not impossible. So they, you know, seem to be, whoever they are, they're pulling up near the church. You know, they might have nothing to do with the Unitarian Church, but in fact, they do seem to be continuing on their way, so perhaps not. But it's not unusual for Unitarians from the United States to occasionally visit the Unitarian Church in Montreal. I've had some conversations with Unitarians from various different parts of the United States. Most recently, had a conversation with a couple from Florida who were completely oblivious to the Unitarian Universalist Association's misuse of blasphemy law to hide pedophilia and rape. In fact, they seem to be completely oblivious to Unitarian Universalist clergy sexual misconduct much more generally, so I had to enlighten them a little bit. So we got somebody coming this way, and we shall just step off to the right to make room. Going up here? Pardon?
Yo demeure à la rue Maisonneuve.
Ça c'est la rue Maisonneuve ici.
Mais yo soy a la...
Quel numéro?
Green.
Guy?
Green.
Green? C'est plus loin.
C'est plus loin.
C'est pas mal plus loin, effectivement. C'est quelques kilomètres.
Oui.
Oui. C'est mieux de prendre l'autobus.
Oui,
Ouais. C'est au moins 2-3 kilomètres minimum.
yo me perdí. Me perdí.
So this woman wants to go to Green Avenue on de Maisonneuve, which is normalement il y a une arrête là-bas, mais ça a l'air que c'est fini. Mais c'est ça, c'est mieux de peut-être retourner aux stations de métro. Il y a pas mal d'autobus aux stations de métro. Ou vous pouvez monter sur Sherbrooke. Monter sur Sherbrooke, prendre... Oh, c'est plus loin, c'est mieux d'aller par là.
Moi, c'est bon, le Chevron, prenez le 24.
C'est ça, oui. Puis,
c'est ça.
Ouais. OK, bonne année, bonne année. So just giving the woman some instructions on how to get to where she wants to go without walking for so many kilometers. So, Alrighty. So far I haven't seen anyone go into the church yet. There's supposed to be a service at 4. Thought, you know, some people might show up somewhat early. So decided to aim to be here for, you know, 3:15, which I was. But as yet, I haven't seen anyone enter the church, although a couple of people did leave. So there's obviously a few people here, you know, preparing for the service, but not a whole lot of people showing up for the 4 o'clock service yet. We shall see what happens with that, but there's still a fair number of members of the public who will see the picket signs if Montreal Unitarians don't. Looks like one here. Maybe not. Alrighty, so still no Montreal Unitarians showing up for the 4 o'clock New Year's Day Sunday service yet. I mean, there may be a few inside that came earlier, but I haven't seen anyone come and enter the church, at least from the front entrance yet. So we'll continue to circulate back and forth with picket sign that says unsafe sect. And that play on words obviously references the term safe sex, and yes, it does allude to specifically sexual misconduct on the part of Unitarian Universalist ministers, but it's, you know, how can I put it, the term is broadly applicable. It applies just as much to non-sexual clergy misconduct and other unsafe aspects of the Unitarian Universalist religious community, but it obviously does allude to unsafe sex, as it were. And of course, such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape committed by certain Unitarian Universalist ministers, to say nothing of certain Unitarian Universalist Sunday school teachers and lay leaders, can be reasonably described as unsafe sex, and certainly non-consensual sex. And for the Unitarian Universalist Association to try to intimidate me into removing blog posts that tell the truth about such despicable crimes as pedophilia and rape committed by certain Unitarian Universalist ministers is, quite frankly, despicable. Truly immoral, unethical, borderline criminal, and as I like to point out, batshit crazy for the part of Unitarian Universalists to engage in such insane legal bullying. And yes, as that picket sign on the left point, okay, so those two people are coming to the service, but as this picket sign says here, the Unitarian Universalists, who are in fact accusing me of blasphemy, because that's what blasphemous libel means. It means blaspheming against a religion, in this case Unitarian Universalism. Most ironically, they are atheist Unitarians, specifically UUA President, Reverend Dr. Peter Morales, definitely an atheist Unitarian Universalist, based on numerous public statements, and also Kathleen K. Montgomery, the former executive vice president of the Unitarian Universalist Association, who would have been perhaps most responsible for the hands-on work of hiring Maitre Marc-André Coulombe of Stikeman Elliott barristers and solicitors to accuse me of blasphemous libel. Well, she too, based on everything I've seen, is an atheist Unitarian Universalist. So it's very, very ironic to be accused of blasphemy in the 21st century by atheists. It's just, laughable, really. I mean, it'd be totally hilarious if it wasn't for such a despicable reason. I mean, on the one hand, it's very, very amusing and funny and ludicrous to be accused of blasphemy by atheist Unitarians in the 21st century, but the reasons for them doing that are truly despicable and not funny at all, really. So on the one hand, it's a huge joke. On the other hand, it's not really a funny thing at all. Very serious element to it in terms of trying to hide pedophilia and rape committed by Unitarian Universalists. So, got a taxi showing up here. And looks like, somebody coming to the service from the look of things, since they're getting out right on the corner. So we'll just circulate. Oops, looks like we got a picket sign to put back up again. Definitely, it's not too windy, but every now and then this gust comes along and blows down a picket sign or two. So anyhow, so yeah, so far I've seen 2 people actually enter the church, and looks like one more is showing up now. And it's still probably about half an hour before the service starts, and Unitarian Universalists aren't known for their punctuality in arriving at church services, so I would expect some to show up later than 4. So I will continue my protest to at least 4:15 or 4:30, and then I'll take it from there. So we'll just stand here and wait for this person to enter the church. Feliz Navidad. So this person is singing Feliz Navidad. This is actually a form of psychological denial, essentially. I think that the same person very, very commonly sings a song when they see me protesting. It's hard to tell because she's so bundled up, but there's this one woman in particular who's always singing some kind of song as she studiously ignores the picket signs. It looked like she might have been trying to hide her face too. Good day, sir. So and there was no reason for her to shield her eyes because she was actually had the sun behind her. So it wasn't to shield her eyes from the glare of the sun. Maybe it was to shield her eyes from the truth